So you play with Daniel Jones, obviously, and Daniel Jones gets a lot of criticism for his quarterback play, in whether it's his turnovers early in his career or whether him just not winning enough games in New York, having played in New York myself for 4 years at the highest level. What is it that about Daniel Jones that a lot of people just, quite frankly, they don't know?
I think the biggest thing that people probably don't know or don't take into account is the amount of turmoil that's existed since our careers went on there. I mean, this is going on our 6th year there. We're on our third full staff. So third full GM, third head coach, fourth offensive coordinator. If you look across the NFL and the teams that win consistently, they don't have this much turnover. And there's a reason for
Mm-hmm.
that. It's hard to get continuity. It's hard to be consistently great when you're constantly adjusting to new faces, new philosophies, new schemes. So especially as a quarterback, I think it's especially tough. And I think that's probably one thing that's maybe understated. I mean, at the end of the day, the type of guy that DJ is, he wouldn't make excuses. He would say he has to be better. He would say he has to play better, whatever, so on and so forth. But I definitely think that that's one thing that's probably overlooked when you look at our specific career over the past 5 years.
So Darius, when you and I played with, I don't know what it is, man, 18 quarterbacks in 11 years, and so I've
Yeah.
been up and down the quarterback carousel, so to speak, in my career. But Patrick Peterson, Pat Pete said that recently that DJ Daniel Jones has a very difficult time processing the information, reading the defenses, all of those sort of things. But you've been one to push back on a lot of people's opinions of Daniel Jones on social media. What do you have to say about the fact that here you are, one of the better corners ever play in the league, saying he's not impressed with him, especially reading defenses?
Um, I mean, he's entitled to his opinion. Obviously, played for a long time. I got a lot of respect for Patrick Peterson, but at the same time, we played them twice in a 4-week span, and we put up close to 30 both times. And in the first game, they only won off a 63-yard field goal. So, but it wasn't like we were getting stopped. And then we played him again in the playoffs, and he set a playoff yardage record at the Vikings, of which he was on the team at the time. So it's an interesting take. If it was maybe another team that we were maybe worse against, I would understand the take more. But it's just an interesting take considering we saw them twice, and it wasn't like there was a whole lot of us not scoring. So it was an interesting take to me. Like I say, he's entitled to his own opinion, but I just found it odd that it came from that source.
Well, I saw last summer you said, I hope I can play with him my entire career. We're talking about Daniel Jones. So would you follow him if he were to leave the Giants?
Um, if it would
No.
work out the way,
Yeah, it's okay. No,
Nah.
Let him answer. Let him
Listen.
answer.
listen. Me specifically, I personally play well with DJ. Despite maybe Keyshawn, you experiences your career where it might not be the guy for everybody, but there's a quarterback. Sometimes people just get along. Like me and him see the game the same. So specifically, me and him hasn't been bad for me. Now you could say overall, you could maybe argue whatever for our team, this guy, that guy, whatever, but specifically our connection has been strong ever since we came in, and for the most part, I've played good ball with him.
Right. And you could argue that you don't want to play with 18 quarterbacks. You want to play with your one quarterback. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well,
if he had the opportunity to look, every quarterback was good for me because they had to throw me the football no matter what, or they was going to wind up getting benched or something like that. So
Yeah.
I get it. No matter who the quarterback was, just put the ball in the vicinity and go get it. But at the same time, in certain situations, just like you, Darius, you didn't show up to certain offseason things for the Giants because you felt like, okay, I'm in my second year of a $12 million deal. I got to get my money. Y'all playing around. And if I'm not putting up the same type of numbers as everybody else, then y'all going to use that against me and try to say that I'm not playing at a certain level to get the money that I want to get. So when you look at it in your situation, you said, okay, I'll kind of not necessarily cave in, but I'll meet you halfway, and you wind up restructuring your deal to, put some incentives in there so you can make some money, some more money. What made you decide to do that instead of just standing firm?
So what it really kind of came down to was my biggest thing has been out, I want the chance. I don't play football to just play. I want the chance to show that I'm amongst the best in the game. But the reality of being a receiver is if you don't get the opportunities to do so, you're not going to have the production. So if, like, for instance, last year I had 74 targets. There's never been a history of football been 1,000-yard season on less than 80 targets. So at the end of the day, if you want to, especially nowadays where guys are going for 1,600, 1,700, if you want to play at that pace, you need the ball. And so that was kind of what going into this offseason kind of led to was, obviously, you're trying to maximize your dollars, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to make sure that it was known that, if being here and me being a part of the offense and being a big part of the offense is not the thing here, then that's okay. But, we'd either like to move on and go somewhere else or make the investment that implies that I am that, so that was kind of where we ended up. And make a long story short, obviously I'm under contract, so I can't get out of here unless they trade me or cut me, which they're not going to cut me. So when they didn't opt to trade me, I like to play. So, at the end of the day, when mandatory minicamp came around and, guys are practicing, like at the end of the day, like I play football because I love to play the game. So, I was ready to get back on the field, ready to go compete. So whatever incentives they threw in there, we settled on and just kind of kept it pushing, and we'll see how the year goes.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.